Shalom, bruchim habaim. Welcome to this video. So, depending on where you are located, you might still be suffering from the heat wave. I just got a break. Yeah, but it is still pretty hot. And still, I want to make this video because I promised you last week that I will make a full video on the Nifal of Hey Yud Hey. I know it is absolutely shocking when you realize all the things nobody ever told you and you are wondering why. Well, you have come to the right place. My name is Ruth Avni. I'm an ex-Ulpan student who became the verb of today, a Hebrew teacher, and I have been where you are. I had all the doubts, I had all the frustrations, and I figured it out. And my mission has become to give it to those who also want to understand. So that is the reason why some call me the verb queen, and I will now start the explanation. So get something cold to drink. I don't know, switch on the AC if you have one. Yeah. And let's get into it. So when you see this root here, many, I would even say most of you, jump right away to, oh yeah, pa'al, liyot. And the people who can do this also know this is the translation of to be. Now, what if I told you that we have here also the possibility to go into nifal? This is the passive voice of pa'al for those who are maybe a little bit newer to Hebrew verbs. If you don't have much experience with Hebrew verbs in general, I recommend you have a look into my book that exists in 4 languages. What are binyanim? What do I need them for? And how is that whole thing actually working? I'll leave you the link below in the description. Now we move on. So Nifal, the passive voice of Pa'al, but wait, the passive voice of to be is to be been, or what is this supposed to be? No, we are using it to say to become, and the infinitive does not exist. Now, you might be wondering, and why is nobody mentioning that? You most probably have never heard of the Nifal version of Hey Yud Hey. Well, that is a very good question. I don't know, but I experienced this in several areas of my life, not just in language learning. There are teachers who don't understand that teaching is giving. And I sometimes have the feeling these people don't want to give fully. You know what I mean? When you actually ask questions and you have the feeling that this person somehow, somewhere, always keeps something with them that they do not really want to give you. As if you had to, I don't know, do you have to ask 10 times the same thing to actually get it? Or I don't know what you have to do to get it, or you will never get it because they like this feeling of being elevated. I don't know, but I will give you the information now. So this root does have a historical nifal. So originally it meant something like came into being, came to exist, became. And over time, it has become an independent lexical item. And that might be the reason why there is no infinitive. Now, from this root, here, students usually learn hu haya. He was, pa'al. If we're lucky, somebody exposes them to hu niya. He became nif'al. So let's have a look into my favorite book, the 501 Hebrew Verbs. I know the Shmuel Bolosky, the 501 Hebrew Verbs are currently very difficult to get because my information as of today is that there is no new edition and it's basically out of stock everywhere and it's being sold for the price of gold nearly. But I still want to encourage you to have a look, to keep searching if somebody is selling it somewhere, because this is still the Bible. And in a couple of minutes, you will see why internet sources are not the greatest friend when you are still depending on them. I have enough knowledge to spot when something is completely wrong. This is not the case of my students, and that is normal. So stay with me. In a couple of minutes, you will see exactly what I mean. So this is the Nifal in the Shmuel Bulosky root hey yud hey niya in the past tense. And what do we see? We see here the present tense, and there you see it's niye, niyet, niyim, niyot. And then, of course, we also have the past tense, and it says no future or imperative. And there you have the typical past tense conjugation, neyeti, neyeta, neyet, neya, and so on. Now, have a look. You have here on the right, niye. This is masculine singular in the present tense. And then in the past tense, it's niya. You will most probably hear niya even when people mean niye. Sometimes the pronunciation is in between. So just that you know that only for those two, it will mostly sound more like niya when Israelis are speaking, even when they are speaking about the present tense. This does not mean they are using the past tense, and you can use the past tense anywhere because it is not happening for any other pronoun. I just want to tell you that if you're wondering, so if it's to you clear they're talking about the present tense, then this is because niye and niya in today's pronunciation sounds to foreigners much more like niya all the time. Last week, I gave you this overview here, and even though here it's saying present tense, I gave you niya in the translation, which is actually the past tense, because in the weekly lessons where we got that sentence from, they are saying niya, even though they are talking about the present tense. And in that moment, I wanted to make sure that you are getting this sentence translated the way people really use it. So grammatically speaking, it should be niyeham, but people say niyaham. That is a fact. So give me this 1 minute of self promotion. This is always the moment where I'm saying you need exposure. And exposure is not taking material and spending 1 month with the same material. This is not exposure. You need a lot of input from different sides, in sense of from different outlets on different subjects. This is exposure. And for this, we have the weekly lessons that we teach in 3 levels. I leave you down in the description, I leave you the link where you can download a sample lesson and you can see if this is for you. It's a subscription that you can cancel anytime. It's really easy, but it gives you exposure. We give you audio, video, and yes, verb heavy exercises. And in the week after, you get a new subject, new audio, new video. So you don't have to wait until you end. This is not thought like a book that have to study till the end until you can go to the next one. This is the idea that you get more impact. And with that, you come more often across sentences like the one we have seen, expressions like what we have seen up to here, and this is even passively enriching your Hebrew. So now let's move on with the rest of the explanations. So now we are coming to the other internet sources I wanted to show you, and we are taking this one here. And as you can see, this is from Pealim. So what are we looking at? We are looking at past tense. Now, this is the problem here. they only list past tense, and the present tense does exist and it is also being used. So this is not complete, let's say. So this overview basically is missing out on, now I show you examples. For example, this sentence here, if you want to say, this is how you become better. You, plural, okay? ככה אתם נהיים טובים יותר. So this is how you translate the sentence. Now, if we go to Pealim and we are looking for niyim, well, it's not here because we are in present tense. Or another sentence, I, female, am becoming smarter. אני נהיית יותר חכמה is not here. So, of course, some of you might ask, can I use lahafoch? Lahafoch is ha'al and means to turn into. Well, that is very similar, right? Yes. Yes and no, but sometimes you can. So the question is, when can I? Let's see. Neya, Nia, that is about entering a state. There is a natural change of state, like the weather or personal development, like in this case, smarter, better, or the weather that we have seen, getting hotter. So this is where a state is changing. Now, hafachle is changing identity, category, or a role. This is when somebody is becoming a teacher. Well, he's changing not necessarily a state. Now, this last explanation might have sounded a little bit abstract, and there is a fine line between la hafoch in the past tense, hafach le, and niya. But in this case, I have to refer back to exposure. With the time, you will get a feeling for it, and it's not that people don't understand you. Okay, so generally speaking, I hope this was a good explanation for you what I presented today. I hope it opened your horizon. Again, I invite you to download a sample lesson of the weekly lessons. And yeah, depending on where you are, I hope you're making it through the heat wave. I'm basically waiting for the next one. But I have a mobile air condition, which I bought 3 years ago after suffering one summer. And yeah, we are getting we will make it, and I see you then in the next video. Okay? Neshikot, shalom.